Welcome to Coffee with Closers. In this series, we interview top real estate producers that are out there making big things happen in the real estate industry. That way you can learn from their failures and their big wins so you can start winning more in your real estate business. Welcome to the show. Today we have Jimmy Murray. He is a property manager. He owns Alliant Property Management Group. He has over 400 units under management. He's also a real estate investor himself, and he's been investing for quite a few years now. So in this video, he's going to go over 3 different mistakes he made as a brand new real estate investor. That way, hopefully, you can get some feedback and you can avoid some of these mistakes and have a smooth transaction in the first one. So Jimmy, welcome to the show.
I have way more than 3.
Way more than 3.
Thanks for having me. Way more than 3.
Welcome.
Way more than 3. Honestly, it's even before I close my first deal. If I were to think about number 1, it's before I close my first deal. So just to give you guys numbers, and this is going to sound crazy based on the stage of the cycle that we're at. My first multifamily was a 4-unit property in Pawtucket that I still own, and I would be willing to argue it's the ugliest building on Central Avenue, Pawtucket. Still, it's hideous, but it cash flows. I purchased that 4-unit building with a 3-car garage behind it for $140,000.
Wow. I'm
into the building for $155,000, and it generates close to $3,800 a month in gross income on a monthly basis.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Now think about how great of an investment that is, and I almost threw the entire thing away over $1,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, so it was crazy, right? So it took me 7 months to close my first deal after we were under contract. It was a short sale, and short sale is an oxymoron. They take a long time.
It's a long sale.
There aren't a lot of short sales in today's market because it's elevated. We haven't had, we're well out of the recession. So went through the home inspection, and there were some other major issues, but I was really stuck on getting $1,000 for the line-in on the side of the house. So we went through the whole process, and it's tricky with the short sale because we agree with the seller and then we have to agree with the bank later. I'm not sure of the timing of when we were negotiating this, but I felt like it was close to the end. And I told my agent, I'm like, unless you can give me $1,000, I'm walking away.
Wow. Oh my God.
Just stupid. There's no other word for it. It's dumb, right? Just lack of education. And the 2 agents came together, the listing agent and my agent came together, and they actually each gave me $500 for the line-in.
No way.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't have. They should have just bought it from underneath.
For themselves.
Honestly.
Right?
Like now I would have been mad then, but now I would have been like, wow, that kid was an idiot, like thinking back on myself. So that's mistake number 1. I don't know if they're necessarily like mistakes, the other things. But I think where I was lenient in the beginning is that I wasn't a stickler for getting rent paid on time.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I can remember I had one guy that he had moved in, and then over the course of the first year, he fell behind 3 months. And I had no idea what the process was. Now, in Rhode Island, you're allowed to send or start the eviction process by sending a 5-day demand on the 16th if rent hasn't been paid.
Okay.
So we follow that hard and fast in the property management business. Moral of the story, 3 months behind, finally get in front of a judge, and it's 2 days before Christmas, and I just felt like the Grinch. But that's when I had like that come to Jesus talk with myself of, hey, we have to treat this, not we, now I sound kind of crazy, right? I have to treat this as a business. And part of that business is that it's a privilege to live in the buildings that you either own or manage. And the way to earn that privilege, first and foremost, is to pay rent on or before the first.
Yes.
And that's how you have to treat it. So first one, don't argue over a line-in that's only $1,000. That's a hell of a deal. Second one is treat it like a business and you'll have success. The third one, again, maybe not a mistake, but I think this is something that folks have to decide. And I know Brandon Turner on Bigger Pockets is kind of on the opposite side when I explain what this is. You have to decide if you're going to live in that building, you're in a house hack, whether you are the property manager or the owner. Now, my route that I chose was I chose to tell all my tenants, and I was 23 years old when I bought my first one, that I was the owner.
Okay.
Some tenants appreciated that, other tenants talked a little bit of smack because I lived in the smallest unit. But that was like that was like just being financially savvy. I live in the small unit, get more money for the larger units. But a lot of folks, you may not be comfortable having those difficult conversations. So it may be easier to say that you're the property manager, right? Yep. Where, hey, I'm the property manager, I manage it for a family member or a friend. They give me a reduced rent to live here. And if you ask me a question and I'm not sure, I'll go back and ask the owner, I'll come back to you in a couple of days, right? So then you buy yourself some time.
Yeah.
In my mind, I told them that I was the owner. So then when they saw me, I put a roof on the garage, which was like crazy, but I did. I put a roof on the garage. and I was completing multiple repairs around the house. I did my first 3 unit turnovers, one of them being my unit, so going through doing the painting on the flooring. I did all of it myself. So the tenants, and then I cleared the snow too. So the tenants could see me doing all of these tasks, showing that I take pride in the building. And that's why I chose to tell them that I was the owner. So then hopefully we'd have a better working relationship, and they'd have a level of appreciation for all the work that I put in.
That makes sense. And now, did that turn out good or bad?
I think it turned out well in the long run.
Good.
Honestly, the tenants that I have in that building right now, the shortest tenure has been there for 5 years.
Wow.
And they know when they call me, I'm going to take care of something.
Yes.
Because they earn the privilege. They pay rent on or before the first, and they earn the privilege of having access to maintenance services. When something breaks, I respond in a very timely fashion. Because in order to generate cash flow, you have to take care of your tenants. If you take care of your tenants, they'll take care of your cash flow.
I like that. That makes good sense too. Because really it is. It's a business. You're providing housing for somebody.
Absolutely.
It's a service, and you got to make sure your service is good. And on the other end, as a renter, they have to make sure that they're also doing their end as a consumer and paying for the service.
It's a two-way relationship.
It is. Yeah.
Right? So if you take care of your tenants, they'll take care of your cash flow. So treat it like a business, and you can turn it into hopefully a money-making machine.
I like it. I love it. So if you like this video, drop a comment in the comment section below. We'll do our best to get to it and answer that question. And thanks so much for tuning in. Have an awesome day.